Welcome back to another episode of the Hustler Squad podcast. This was filmed on June 15. It's actually part 2. Go and listen to the previous one if you haven't listened to that. In this episode, the boys and myself absolutely get stuck into the AFL and a whole heap of Ex AFL players again after they filmed a disgusting ad with Sportsbet. We also talk about how Sportsbet are manipulating and hypnotising Australians to keep gambling. And we finally talk about some frequently asked questions to help any new people who want to get involved with the system to help understand how it all works. If you have any questions whatsoever, DM us on Instagram or check the links in the description. Yeah, so that brings us next. We rinsed Goddard, Cornes, all those blokes last podcast, and we're going to keep going after you guys, so be aware. If you want to be an affiliate,
Thomas has blocked us.
Dale Thomas blocked us, so shout out to Daisy. You didn't block Hustler though, so maybe block that too. Shout out to those guys. But if you are an affiliate and you're an ex-AFL or an ex-sportswoman or whatever, I think Georgie Parker, she's an ex-hockey, is it? I actually had to Google what she was before because she always does a sports bet with Nathan Brown.
Olympian, I think.
The Back Pocket podcast where they tell people how to donate their money every week on a Friday. Basically, those guys, if you're going to keep doing this, and great, you're filling your pockets, you are going to get rinsed for the next 12 months until we do something about it. And ABC has actually rinsed them. Tony Jones, Damien Barrett, McClure, that little pod thing they did.
The thing is, but with those guys,
Kane Kornes, don't forget about
those guys, it's for me personally, I don't have as much of an issue with them doing it purely because they're doing it to get publicity and they're nobodies, right? They don't have a following. They're not worshipped by young kids, right?
Yeah.
The person that in that ad, for example, that is the worst is Kane Kornes, and I don't know what. And I know I've already had a go at Kane Cornes, but I don't know what he's actually thinking.
He's a smart guy.
Of course he is. He's a genius. And he's done so many, he's run a marathon for charity, raised money for really good things. He's a guy that understands his influence and has used it for so many positive things. But to use your influence to, he's got 4 young boys or something. Do you reckon he's sitting at home telling them to start punting when they're 18? So why is he doing that publicly?
I honestly think they don't have a clue how much people lose.
Well,
I think it has to be that.
say in his podcast, he's like, surely this has, this has,
harmless. It's pretty harmless, isn't it?
There's little harm there. And it's like, bro, Australians gamble the most per capita in the world.
How much is that total?
Average $990 loss.
No, more.
Per
it's
capita.
$1,200 per adult.
Yeah, per adult. Sorry, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you think about it realistically, 50% of the adult market is female, and majority of them don't bet or can't even get bets on at half the bookies.
Yeah, because they're instantly restricted.
When they talk about the per capita number, it's so skewed because there's not 12 million people betting or 25 million people betting. There's 4 or 5 million males from 18 to 45. So they're not losing 1,200 per capita.
Yeah,
from the betting market, it literally quadruples it. They're losing 5K.
Yeah, and the rest.
And it's a massive, massive issue. And the fact that they think it's pretty harmless, or they get 10K for doing the ad. They don't give a fuck.
No, that's not good enough though.
It's shit house. I agree with you.
It's okay to say, oh well, maybe they just don't quite understand how bad gambling is. Bullshit, mate. They're all 40, 45-year-old males.
Yeah, they're not.
They've all grown up in the industry. They've all heard stories, and if they still are somehow naive or ignorant to it all, then that's not good enough.
Nah.
They're journalists. They're in the media. They've got, a following. And they've got a big pull. They've got a big say, and they're promoting it. So that's piss poor journalism. For them.
Tony Jones has been on record to say something. What was he saying about gambling on that web?
He was saying, we know the harms of drinking, we know the harms of drug use, but we don't know the harms of gambling.
He's saying it was ruining lives, though, I reckon.
Yeah, well, he was. They wanted to change.
And then he's doing a fucking podcast, a Sportsbet ad. Just, come on, man.
It just makes it, to me, it just looks like they're just the flavour of the month.
Yeah.
And whatever is popular at the time.
Yeah,
a few years
put
ago,
10K in your pocket. Doesn't matter what happens from it. Move on.
Well, a few years ago, there was the big sort of push for play the odds, or play the sport, not the odds sort of thing. And so, not 2019, Tony Jones came out and did his spiel. Barrett's done his spiel. McClure did his spiel in the past couple of years saying we need to ban this. The government needs to get involved. We need to change legislation, whatever it may be. And now all of a sudden, because everyone's promoting gambling, all the big Ex AFL players are doing it. Oh, now they want their piece of the pie as well. And so now they're jumping on board. Shit house. Stick to one or the other.
Legit.
Either be a degenerate or defend. Don't go and promote it. Don't play both sides and clickbait yourselves to. Yeah, I don't know.
Shane Crawford's just been started to do one for Tab. I've screen recorded one the other day. I'm going to do a little stitch on that because he's another smart bloke. But I think they're just thinking about their own pockets.
100%.
it's not good enough, as you said. And
did you see in that ABC video, they reached out to Sportsbet, they reached out to the individuals involved, they reached out to everyone asking,
no reply.
Was there any payment involved? And they all just got seen.
Yeah,
didn't want to give them a bar.
Of course they got paid.
100% they got paid.
Bro, Sportsbet, I think, paying the AFL or vice versa, like $8 million a year or something.
Yeah, it was $8 million.
It's on the fucking AFL app, man. You go into the tips for the week. Sportsbet
All
odds
the
are on
games.
everything.
Yeah, they're on the
it's
front
like, what the
page.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like, a 10-year-old can access that app, and they see these odds, and they're like, what's that? And then they ask their dad, and then their dad's probably donating as well to the bookies.
Around the, and like you're watching the game and every single signage post, Bet365, Sportsbet.
It's genuinely
the ad comes up and Nathan Brown's got a same game multi for the game that's coming up, or he's got a dead set
I
lock
love
for the next
Mick
game.
Malloy, but he does it on the front bar, mixed multi or something.
Another
And
one
it's
trying to fill his pockets.
Oh, man.
I'd love, if you're an ex AFL and you disagree with this shit, we want to get someone on who can go the other way. If you've got balls to do it, I know a lot of people just want to be quiet, but we're going to find someone eventually who will go on record. We'd love to reach out like David Schwartz, for example. He's one that we'd love to get on. Nick Rewalt, I mean, you're close with all these boys.
I saw you reached out.
You reached out, Nick
well,
Rewalt.
obviously that's a bit of a throw at the stumps, but when you think of the the model citizen or the model ex AFL player, like
Nathan
I was just
Buckley,
curious.
probably?
I was just curious to know, like from like Rui's perspective. He was like best mates with Brendan Goddard, and Goddard captain an AFL club. Seems like a pretty upstanding guy who the last thing you would think of doing.
Yeah, he's a dad
sitting
too.
at a sport. Yeah, and you'd think he's sitting on a Sportsbet ad, telling you about some bloke that's a lock to get 20 disposals. He wouldn't know what day it is. Like, what's he doing giving out betting advice?
Yeah. I imagine Daisy Thomas would have played in a premiership with Dayne Beams.
Yeah.
2010, they would have been premiership teammates.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly sure he'd be pretty aware of the
they're
downfalls
not dumb,
of
man.
Dayne Beams.
They'd
But
all
the
be
other thing as well, like Daisy uses his influence for good as well. Like he goes and plays at, played at Nil 2 weeks ago, won them a game, their first game in like 3 years. That's elite. That's what you use your following.
these guys are not bad people, but the decisions they're making, they need to think about what they're doing, because if they knew they were destroying lives, I'm not sure they would do it, because I think it's a combination. They're thinking about their pocket too much, and then they're not fully aware of how bad it is. But as Steve said, they're not fucking stupid, so it's not good enough.
And if they are somehow ignorant to it, then that's not good enough.
Yeah, well, then stop doing it. If you're ignorant to it and you're learning about it, then stop.
But,
And then the other thing we will obviously discuss, and I made a video about it, earlier. Like the ads, they are just
genius.
I don't know how, and maybe, you call it genius theory, how we've seen this for so long and we just think that everybody thinks the same way as us. But I don't know how you don't sit down and watch those ads and they don't make your blood boil. Like, I get so mad watching them and just thinking like these poor degenerate punters that don't have an ability to stop betting, right?
Straight on the phone.
And they watch it. Remember, we spoke to the 18-year-old guy on Thursday, and he's like, I'm getting worried that I'm going to bet too much. I think about it all the time. All my mates bet. I'm only losing. He's like, I'm only losing like $100, $200 a week at the moment. Some of my mates are losing $500. He's like, I don't know how to stop. And we asked him, what brings it on? Are you bored? Do you, what do you think about? And he's like, man, I'll be watching like before the footy, and then a Bet365 ad will come on, or, Brownie will say that this multi looks good value. And he's like, and I can't stop myself from putting the bet on.
Correct.
And that would be the reality for so many punters.
Yeah.
And it's genius by Sportsbet, whatever. They're running, you can't get that mad at Sportsbet, right? I do hate Sportsbet, but they're running a company.
They're just playing the game.
Yeah, of course they are. But the people that
exactly.
they're paying to do it for them, do the legwork, do the dirty work, encourage people
They're
to
just
lose.
pulling the trigger, exactly.
Like, you need to...
At what point
be better.
does the AFL step in?
No, the AFL's fucking getting money from it, man.
100%.
They're making
AFL
money
is
from
40
it.
million a
So
year.
shout out to Gil, McLachlan. I know you're resigning
gone,
now,
yeah.
but good work on doing the last however long you've been on board and letting this happen. So shout out to H-Mac, his brother, was actually talking about a follower who subbed to Trumpy once on one of his reports.
True.
These guys punt. Gil, I'm not sure. Hamish does. But fuck me, like, do something about it. If you want to make a stand, the next AFL guy, think about not so much about the pockets and the revs for the AFL, because the reality is if they take away that revenue from whatever they're getting, the AFL is probably fucked. And that's where you have to look at it, and that's what they're doing. But what I'd like to say as well, people might be watching this and be like, oh, at the end of the day, it's your decision to gamble. These guys are vulnerable people.
100%.
Would you have the same, sympathy, or don't get triggered by someone standing outside a rehab center offering heroin to people coming out of rehab? you'd be like, what the fuck? What are they doing? So it's the same thing. So why don't people... A lot of people go, oh, leave them alone. Sportsbet's doing their job. They're a business, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, it's the same as that. The same principle. Standing outside of rehab center.
That's the thing. It's like they're so clever in what they do, Sportsbet, in the way they market and the psychology behind it. It's all playful and fun.
It's all play. They don't make it sound... Yeah. And they always have that, or the end, Brownie will be like, this is a great multi, this, 20 to 1, boost it up, $20 on it, there you go, pay for your weekend. Oh, and gamble responsibly.
Yeah, I gamble responsibly.
Like, at the end, like, come on, like, that is a fucking...
It's disgraceful, isn't it? But the thing is that people don't sort of realise that we, I guess, are trying to sort of highlight to people is that they are so good in what they do that they're getting the message across to people who... A, shouldn't be hearing these messages, and B, it's actually it's impacting their behavior. But people don't realize it's like subliminal messaging. Like they're like, I don't know whether they're attacking the subconscious, but like even like the subliminal message in that video that you talked about, where they basically embarrassed the guy for buying tips.
Yeah.
And you rightfully pointed out, I think we're all in agreement, rightfully pointed out that they embarrassed that bloke for buying tips because Sportsbet know that people who are going to buy tips are more likely not going to lose as much. They might not win, but they won't lose as much because they've got the structure behind tips. Obviously, they'll win if they follow us. But people commented on that video that you did and said, oh, come on, mate, you're drawing a long bow here. That's not what they're saying. They're just having a bit of a laugh. That's not true. Like, that was sort of the response that some people were saying. It's like, this is the problem. They're subliminally telling you, don't buy tips, don't bet smart, don't bet with structure, don't bet with discipline. And here you are thinking that that's not what they're telling you. Like
that's the part
what's
that
so
I don't
clever.
understand. Like, how can you not watch that and go, all right, these guys that make $17 billion a year off me losing are telling me not to buy tips. So I would instantly think, well, if there's one way I'm going to make money, it's by doing the exact opposite of what they're telling me.
Legit, they're so good at somehow telling you the message that they want, getting you to do what they want you to do, and thinking that they're doing you a favor.
And you can see
that's how they do it.
But they're so good at it that you think about like the one that I come back to is like you look at all the comments to Bet Kingdom or whatever, and all these people that think those ads are hilarious and that you must be fun at parties. Oh, geez, I'd love to have a beer with you, mate. And it's like, bro, like if you do you work for the bookies? And if you don't, you're actually a genuine clown. You're supporting the bookies who literally want you to lose. Like what actual planet are you on?
It's nuts.
I don't know
Anyway,
how people side.
we'll take a bit of a pause here.
Cameras on 3%.
Yeah,
cop it. You got to live by your decisions, mate. You've got an opportunity to clean it up.
It'd be interesting if someone did eventually come out and be like, all right,
I made a mistake.
Fucking joke. No. Yeah, or I could see someone like Kane Kornes doing that.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm moving away from betting.
Literally.
I'd get so much respect.
It was a stupid call.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it was something that I shouldn't do.
Yeah, he would take the moral high ground.
Yeah, just move on. I feel like he's the kind of guy that would do that. So
yeah,
I'd love for him.
No, he's admitted he's wrong before.
All the time he does. Like, he
but
makes a call about a player.
He's elite, whatever you want to call him. He does it for bait, and
of
he's.
Course.
But that's where
I rate Kane Cornes. Everyone hates him, but I don't have any issues with him because he just speaks his mind.
Elite, and he likes to stir the pot.
Correct.
But it's just like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Since we've all calmed down now, Steve's taking a deep breath. I thought we would just go over quickly before we wrap everything up. Some of the more common questions that pop through in the DMs that might help somebody that's watching this for the first time or has thought about sending us a message. So the first question I've got for you, Steve, is I reckon this is the most common actually. Is what do I do with deposit bonuses, and do I use them when opening up new accounts for the system?
Yeah, so very good question. So just to confirm to anyone who doesn't know what a deposit bonus is. So a deposit bonus is basically when you sign up to a bookie for the first time, one of the corporate bookmakers. They won't advertise it, I don't think. They're allowed to advertise.
As an incentive.
So they're not allowed to advertise that if you deposit $50, they'll give you $50 in bonus bets. There's a new law stopping them from doing that, but they still do it anyway. So
after you sign up,
after you sign up, it's play on. So they're just, because back in the day it was pretty ridiculous. It was like deposit $100, get like 500 in bonus bets, even worse, probably back in the day.
1,000.
Yeah,
we had $5,000 Neds ones.
Was that like for a new account?
It was an affiliate doing that, So a special code that you had to put in.
Anyway, we don't want to go on too long. No. But anyway, so basically when you sign up with a bookie, you can get, deposit offers where most of them will be around sort of that $100 mark, I suppose. I know Ladbrokes do deposit $50
or something.
They do a couple. You can choose. It's like deposit $50 250, get 100 in bonus. Deposit 250, get 250 in bonus. Anyway, so that's what a deposit bonus is. And I guess when people sign up to the system, you need sort of a lot of accounts. So people will be opening up new accounts when they first sign up with us. And people get a lot of these deposit bonuses because they're making brand new accounts. They're getting these accounts set up so that they can use to follow the system. And they're getting all these bonus bets. And I guess one thing that we talk about, and one thing that's critical for sustainability is the first sort of 2-3 weeks of a brand new account is don't place any promo bets. And I think people are getting confused as to what a promo bet is and what a bonus bet is. So look, to answer the question straight up is, can you use these deposit bonuses? Absolutely. Use these deposit bonuses.
It's a good way to build your bankroll.
It's a good way to build your bankroll. Don't blindly gamble them. Turn them over. Practice 2-way Dutching. Practice 3-way Dutching. The Hustler Squad free course.
We'll chuck a video in the description of this on Spotify and YouTube.
Yep.
Just watch that video.
So basically 2-way Dutching, 3-way Dutching, or bonus turnover, sort of the umbrella term of it all, is a critical element of the system. It's a critical element of Hustler Squad. It's a critical element to beat the bookies and, lock in that edge that you have over the bookies. So basically getting these deposit bonuses to begin with is a really good practice. As you said, it's a good way to build your bankroll because very
easy way to do that.
It's very easy.
Yeah, there's probably about 5K worth of signups across the board. However, don't get too caught up in chasing deposit offers because, like we said, we want to make sure that we're prioritizing long-term sustainability instead of chasing signups and depositing.
I'd say for
everywhere.
most people that they come across, they probably have 3 or 4 bookies that they mainly use, 2 to 4 maybe, and they need to open up 3 to 5 more to have a sustainable amount to follow that system. Just say on average they get $100 bonus per account. They're going to get $500 worth of bonus, right? Which they can turn up to $350 cash for free, risk free. Great way to start build your bankroll.
Yeah.
I think the second question that I have that follows on from that, I think you answered that really well with how they should use them. They should use them. They should cash in on them. Use them, sparingly, but do it properly. Good way to practice. Good way to build your bankroll. The second question that usually follows on from that, when I do tell them this is what you should do with them, is what is the minimum bankroll that someone should have to follow the service?
Look, this is something that we've been asked from day dot. Initially, we used to say $1,000 is probably not the minimum, I reckon, but that's more of an ideal starting capital.
To get the most out of it.
To get the most out of it, with $1,000, you can probably start on a $15 unit size to begin with.
10 to
15, which is a great unit size to learn, but also to make profit in your first month.
I reckon you could probably follow with $500 betting capital. I'd say if there was an absolute bare minimum lower range, you could probably start with $500. And with $500, you're going to start on a $5 unit size, I'd reckon. And as we've pointed out earlier in the podcast, it's fine because you're not there in the first few weeks to make money. You're there to learn the processes, understand the structure, understand the discipline, understand what is required of you in order to follow the system completely correctly and to maximize your profits. And then as well as that, if you have $500 with these sign-up bonuses to begin with, your bankroll is going to go to $750 basically within the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, from there, you've paid off your first basically 3 months worth of sub fees. And then what was one of our favourite punters, you're playing for free, or we're in the green or something. So we're playing for free now after that. So, that's where I'd probably stay. I'd definitely lean towards having, closer to 1,000, just because you do need a bit of extra. There's going to be times where, one account gets drained, so you need to top up another account. Yeah. You also want capital in your accounts to ensure that you have enough to hedge bonus bets.
Correct.
So the more you've got, basically the more flexibility you've got.
Most of the people that start on 5 are either the most skeptical or the people that are
minimum bankroll.
Yeah, that literally only have $500, right? So the reason that some people might just start on a $5 unit size and just be happy to allocate $500 is because they truly don't think that the system will make profit. And they're like, fuck it. It was $100 to join for the month. You said, if you don't make me profit in the month, you're going to give me my money back. So I'll follow for $5 units until I either believe you guys or I think it's a crock of shit.
Yeah.
Obviously,
we embrace that.
Yeah, of course. And once they follow for a couple of weeks, you go, all right, I can allocate $1,000 to this service. Yeah. I'm going to start doing it on $10.
Literally, a guy did that today. I was talking to him. He goes, I want to allocate 500. I'm like, all right. He's had no account ever, never placed a bet in his life. I'm like, all right, you're faced with a decision here. You've got the opportunity to make probably 2 or 3K just off sign-ups and get your accounts ready. So you can either come across to Platinum and set it up first, or you can, if you have more capital, that is, you don't want to be going to Platinum with less than a K. But he said, all right, I can invest more now that I've spoken to you guys for the last 3 days. I've realized that you guys are legit. Okay, now I'm going to invest 1,000. What do I do? You need to make sure, just to clarify, this is going sort of into like giving away too much information, but you want to be splitting your bonuses as well, because like you said, if you get stuck where one account needs to hedge $300, but you only have 500, all your money's in one spot. It's not a good thing, because then you have to withdraw, which we want to avoid doing. And instead of that, split your bonus into an amount where it's not going to affect your bankroll, take up a huge or half a chunk of it or whatever. You want to make sure that you're considering all this. And obviously DM us if you want any more questions. We'll cover that in the new how to follow video as well. But yeah, for sure. I think just adding to that, if you're someone coming across and you're losing massively, even just being in our service without making any money, if you're following with a $5 unit size, I mean, reality is you could follow with a $1 unit size. You're not going to make significant profit for the month. You're going to make like $30 a month, right? But if you being in our service costs you $100 for that first month and it saves you $2,000 because you normally lose $500 a week, bro, that's a fucking plus $1,900 for the month. So you need to consider that too. So $500 minimum, yes, to get the most out of it. Probably more likely to be $1,000 to get actually something significant out of it. But you need to consider that too and progress along that over the next 3-6 months, and then you start to get your rewards later. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that.
I guess for me, there's like, I don't want to sound, like I'm potentially desensitized to money by saying this, but for me, there's no real difference for someone. There's no real point for someone signing up and joining on the difference between a $1 unit size and a $10 unit size. You know what I mean? Like, if you're following within, under a 10 or under unit size, you may as well follow with a $1 unit size, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the only difference is over a week is maybe $70 profit. And so that's why I don't want to, because $70 is still a nice amount of profit. But because I know how capable the profits can be, or sort of the extent to how much you can make in a week, which, we're talking sort of, $500, $1,000, $2,000 a week potentially. Yeah. Obviously, now we're getting
top guys are doing that.
That's what the top guys are doing. And so for me, I wouldn't be personally worried about making $70 in the first week. I'd be happy to just make $10 in the first week and understand the whole process, knowing what is 6 months down the track.
But that's the decision that the people that come in and allocate $500 or are going to do a $5 unit size, they know, and they've had conversations with us, and they know that the first 3 weeks or first month, the system will profit, and they might make their 25 units off on $5, whatever. But they're not there to make money in the first month. They're either there because they're skeptical, or they're like, I want to do this properly, understand it, and once I know how it works, I'll go up to $10, $15 unit sizes. I've got the bankroll to do it, but I don't want to do it yet until I know. And you can listen to all our voice messages where we always err on the side of caution. Like, we want you guys to do it with less money to start. Even if you've got a $10,000 bankroll, start on $20 units, start on $15 units.
You can't start with more than 25.
Once you understand how it all works, then of course, go nuts. Go to $25 unit sizes, whatever. If your bankroll can support that, that's fine. But until you know exactly what's required of you, the smaller unit size is definitely recommended by us, and we'll always tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're not here for you to chase profit in the first month. We don't give a fuck about that.
Those guys, I think, are the most likely to jump off, though, because of the fact that they're probably not going to get a huge amount of profit straight up.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they're starting with a lower unit size. But this is what people will now start to understand, and we're seeing it already. They don't want to chase the profit because we're drumming it into them that the first month is more about learning than profit. And once they pass that, then they get the rewards later. But it's up to them to stick around. And
the learning is there. Like, we talk about there is a lot of learning. We've got currently, what do you reckon? We've probably got an hour and a half worth of content currently as it is right now, but it's going to be probably closer to 2.5 hours, I reckon, once we get all the new how to follow video, the new sustainability video. So it's all there, and people actually understand. They're like, oh fuck, all right, I do have to go through all of this. Maybe what they are saying is, maybe correct.
Well, that's why we encourage people to sign up earlier in the week, because 90+% of our units are now out later on a Saturday because Wednesdays have got quieter. So don't sign up on fucking Friday night or Saturday morning expecting to then go and follow the tips seamlessly on a Saturday, because you're only going to have 2-3 hours. Sign up on Monday.
Saturday morning,
Tuesday.
Steve and I are potentially running around like headless chook,
making sure that we message
every single new sub and be like, mate, do not bet. Like, don't bet today. You've joined an hour before the first tip. We've got an hour and a half of videos.
But they're going to follow, and they're going to fuck it up because they're too impatient. They're not there for the right reason.
And I feel like we're trying to drill that into, even when we post, stories saying we're tipping today or whatever, we're tipping tomorrow. Get in now, because you've got an hour and a half of video to watch, and you might not even be able to follow tomorrow because you might have 2 accounts.
No accounts. Yeah.
A guy said recently in the chat, he said Monday's a really good trial run. Wednesday's a really good trial run, and I agree. Yeah, I reckon Monday is probably the best day to get in. Gives yourself 2 days to go through the content, and then on Wednesday. It's hard to fuck up on Wednesday in terms of not knowing how to follow.
Usually only 1 tip per race.
Because it's 1 tip per race, and it's probably 2, maybe 4 races for the day.
Yeah.
So
you've usually got 30 to 40 minutes between races
Yeah.
as well, so you're not overwhelmed. Whereas if you join Saturday morning and then you've got Eagle Farm, Caulfield, Randwick,
Shit's
you've
going
got
on.
3 races in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of moving parts.
hectic.
It can be pretty full on.
I remember just following the system in that time. After doing it for 6-12 months, you get some days where it's 3-4 tracks in the space of literally 15 minutes, and it's chaos.
It's different bookies. Some,
Yeah.
then some tracks don't actually have promos that you think. You make a
Exactly.
mistake, you place a bet without promo insurance.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy to do, and like JP said, and like we always say, if you're losing on the punt, and if you see this and you're losing on the punt, and you want to keep betting and you don't think you can stop, if you follow the system for 1 month and learn, what's involved, you're not going to lose that whole month, because if you do it properly, you're not going to lose any money for the whole month, right? So even if you spend $100 on the subscription, think about that. You spend $100 and you're not going to lose a cent for the whole month. You might not even follow the tips for the whole month, but you're not going to lose a cent. You're also going to be like, holy shit, I can bet this way sustainably and make money. And then in 6 months' time, you'll be on a $30, $40 unit size, and you'll be making $1,500 a month, tax-free from betting. Yeah. So I feel like there's going to be so many people that watch this, cut this up, put it on TikTok as a little snippet. If you are somebody that's losing every single month betting, spend $100, go through 2.5 hours of our content, sit in the system for a month and watch how it works, and I guarantee you that you won't leave.
Because it's not just you in there. There's 1,900 people in the free chat as well. So even if you're not even want to sub, sit in the free chat and watch the people make money every week or month, and then you'll be like, "What? Why aren't I doing this?"
There'll be like 5 or 10 questions a week now. Someone saying, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about joining. I'm thinking about subscribing. Is this profitable?
Yeah.
How do you guys go with it?" And then you just see 10 subs, send a message.
Yeah.
Instantly. I think you wrote last night, great to see this conversation or great to see this chat.
Yeah.
All those answers are spot on.
People answering the question for us.
Yeah.
Reality is, even if you jump in our free chat now, you're getting a voice recording from Steve personally, and then you get an opportunity to get some questions to us. So we had a losing day on Saturday. If you're watching this, what was it, June 11, minus 8.15 units. Is there anything you guys wanted to say about that in terms of, I don't know, anything?
Well, obviously, people will see soon. I think we put a bit of stuff on our stories around. We wanted to give people a bit more of an insight into, we do get a lot of people like, you just send out tips, you don't do a whole lot. And we've obviously touched on the personalization of how we help everyone through the process. But what we thought we would do on Saturday is we actually filmed a vlog. So we got, our film guy in who helps us with the podcast and stuff. And we're like, can you just come over and record us doing a normal Saturday? And it's obviously not every Saturday, because majority of the time it's done at home on our own or by one person. But we're like, fuck it, let's get the whole team together. Let's do a proper morning.
Yeah.
So we literally vlogged the whole thing. So we have the whole day from start to finish. We've got, videos of us speaking to subscribers, videos of us putting stories on our Instagram, videos of us making the promo list, videos of us actually going through our data and tipping, videos of us watching the races, videos of us, after the races, not really too fussed about, we're having a down day. We only had 7 winners for the whole day, but the whole thing's filmed. So we're going to put it together. We're going to put it on, we'll put it on our socials. I think it'll be a nice insight for people to see what actually goes on behind the scenes and to see, the value in the subscription and the time and effort that we put into running our service. So if you are watching this, obviously you're at the end of the podcast. We're about to wrap it up, but I think we should do like we did last podcast. Obviously we did Piss 10. Got a couple of people come through with a message for Piss 10. So what we'll do is, if you do send us a DM on, we'll do a DM, or should we just do a promo
DM,
code?
but also we'll put the promo code on Stripe. So if you write vlog 10, you'll get 10% off a monthly sub or more as a once off, or should we make it forever?
Forever's
forever.
fine.
Make it forever.
If they end up making it to the end of this,
you'll be forever paying $90 a month. I think that's 10% off, whatever.
With the full profit guarantee.
And we'll also post the vlog in the description of this YouTube. And if you're watching it or listening to it on Spotify, go into the description. You can watch the vlog. We'll cut it down to 5 to 15 minutes or whatever, just to make it nice and compressed. But
but I think that'll be a good insight for people to see what goes on behind the scenes and actually understand that it's not simply just,
we're not here to fuck spiders.
Just, checking the market mover on Sportsbet 30 seconds before the race, sending it out and then calling it a day. So, I reckon this is our best podcast so far.
Yeah, did you have anything to finish off with, Steve, Mike Pence, whatever you call yourself?
I don't think I did.
No.
Marley's had enough.
Yeah, the dog's asleep.
Snoring her head off.
We'll leave it there, guys. So if you have a question, DM. Every single bit of link, free cost to Hustler, sign up to the system, will all be in both description on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure you follow, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, share it to a mate who I don't know, might be losing on the punt, you might be able to help him. Share it to Brendan Goddard and all those guys. We'd love to hear from them.
Chompers Jones, TJ Chompers.
And see you.
Show yourself.
See you guys next time.
Cheers, guys.
The microphones, everything's on, yeah.
Yeah, they're all good.
Oh.
Fucking bye.
Fucking hell, that was a sneeze.
Alright, are we good to go? I'm going to start in like 3 seconds.
Shut that door.
Mate, you can't shut that door. What? That's off the rails.
No, the couch hit it before. That's why. If it's fucked, leave
It's
it.
full off the rails. Look at the angle compared to that one.
Mate, so that's almost fallen down on me.
It can't go anywhere. The thing's in front of it. If you
Will
can't
that
fix
matter?
it, leave it. Nah.
Does it look bad in there?
Nah, we'll edit it out. It's genuine like passion when we swear and shit. I fucking love swearing.
Steve was going off.
Oh, fuck them, man.
The blur monster's going to get fucking a fair run.
We're coming to get you. If you're an Ex AFL, fucking come and go.
Sitting there like...
No, it's like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, fucking it isn't. I'll message him myself.
I know. I sort of realised after what I said. I was
That's a
like,
leak.
that's cringe.
That's a leak.
Telling him that's.
I was like,
what
Steve's
I'm
about to go viral.
Good enough, mate. Fuck them.
This fucking random.
We're getting 17 billion a year, so fuck them.
I felt like I sounded like my mum then. Like she would have, oh, you haven't cleaned your room? That's not fucking good then.
Fuck them. Fuck them all.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. If they want to do that, they can cop it.
And they think, they join, right? And they're like, oh, is that camera all good?
Someone just made a noise.
We'll stop, I can go
It could be
again.
full.
Oh, that should show.
What is it?
I don't know, the screen's off.
Did it die?
Is it off?
Yeah.
Flat. Oh, here we go. Classic comment. Tough shit. Get over it. It legit says gamble responsibly. Don't let it play
Exactly
you.
what I just said.
If people can't help themselves, there's deposit limits, helplines. Grow up, you softie.
The helplines don't
Grow
work.
up, you softie.
My laptop's full.
Oh my god, his SD's full. His 7th laptop's full. He's got 20 SD cards full.
What's this?
Just get a terabyte hard drive, man. They're like $20.
Yeah, I've got heaps of them, but they're all old.
Heaps of
I've
them.
literally got 4 of them.
They're all full. God.
Borrow one.
Oh, you haven't cleaned your room? That's not fucking good, man.
What
was that? Is that English?
Who
said that?
Listen, fuck them. Listen to fuck them.
Oh, you haven't cleaned your room? That's not fucking good, man.
Fuck them, man.
Fuck it, if they want to do that, they can cop it until they...
Don't work tomorrow. 6? What time do you go to bed?
Nah, she's fine,
Whatever.
She's fine, mate.
mate. She's...
JP will be up till 4 fucking yelling at something or recording rinsing people. We'll actually
oh,
go.
I haven't
let's watch a
done-
movie.
I haven't
And
done
he
late
won't
nights
say,
for
like,
ages.
start till like 1 o'clock. I'm like, I have work.
Not 1, relax, like 11.
Yeah, like midnight.
Let's watch a movie. She'll be right. I can't know. If I got up that early, I'd go to bed now. Have you been enjoying Narcos?
Yeah, it's good.
What one are you watching? You're watching the first full-blown one in Medellin,
My
yeah?
question is, because we accidentally went on... Is someone still using your fucking account? Or
Man, I reckon there's 5... I don't know who it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They're watching fucking... Something was up there. I was going to ask if it was...
Nah.
Do you watch Game of Thrones? Nah.
Nah.
You
I
wouldn't
watched
be.
the
You wouldn't be able to watch that.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I actually liked it, but when I saw someone
No,
Rudy's
you'd be
sister,
way too
then
ADHD.
someone Rudy's sister, then I was like, nah, this is not.
Oh mate, that's the
That's
whole.
the best
That's there's best part. There's 10 seasons of that,
Well, they're not actually brother and sister, so it's fine.
bro. I would love to be in your brain. The amount of thoughts that just fly through, just like off on a tangent. Bang,
Insta.
TikTok. Now you're on Insta. Fuck me.
What?
We need to change the battery in that.
Oh, you're kidding. Right now.
How long?
I don't know. It just has cross through it.
Surely we just pump out the last 5 minutes and be out of here.
Yeah.